was really just a full breakdown, everything that you need to learn, basically the A to Z.
From where to start, exactly what to do, how to do it, all the systems, the programs.
The resources and things that were given throughout the training was just phenomenal.
All right, guys, welcome to episode 39. I'm back. The past few weeks I've been busy, have a new baby girl in the family, thank God. But now I'm back here at the deal desk every Friday where at 12 p.m. EST I call your leads live. Okay, so let's get right to it. And feel free, if you're on YouTube, feel free to type in any questions you may have. I can answer questions as I go. Okay, so feel free to type them in. So let's pick up. Let's see where we're at. We are at California, Buttonwillow, California. And I'm going to call them on my Google Voice. And if this is your first time, welcome. The rules are I call them. If they don't answer, then, hold on a second. I think my audio might be low for you guys on YouTube there because I did not plug this in. But anyways, if the lead, then I call one more time. I don't text or leave a voicemail. Move on to the next one. Some of you that submit your leads, you might notice that I didn't get a chance to speak with yours, right? And that's maybe because they didn't pick up the phone. If that's the case, please feel free to resubmit them back on the list, and they'll go back right to the top. And if you want to find out where to submit them, you can go to Instagram in my bio, or you can go to www.thereitoolbox.com, okay? And just click submit leads, okay? All right, so let's get started. Let's call this person, see what happens. Looks like this is vacant land, okay, which I talked about on how to comp vacant land. All right, so let's give him a call first, and I'll put him on speaker. Give me 1 second. All right. Vacant land. I don't know a price to ask for. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Miss Francisco.
Yes.
Hi, my name is Steven. I believe you spoke with my partner a while back in regards to some property, land you might be interested in selling. Is that still the case?
Yes.
Okay. Did I catch it at a good
How
time?
long ago or what property?
Yeah, it looks like they put here some land in Buttonwillow and then Shafter.
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
Perfect. Did I catch it at a good time?
Sure. Go ahead.
All right, great. So my process is real simple. I just want to ask you some basic questions about the property. That way I can just go and evaluate there and see what I can offer you. It takes about 7 minutes. Is that okay? Do you have enough time?
Yes. I'll tell you what I can about the property. Okay.
Okay, great. So I see here this is just vacant land. Was there ever a structure on the land before?
Not that I know of.
Okay. And it looks like you actually have two, one in Buttonwillow, one in Shafter. It doesn't have an exact address?
No.
Okay.
I've never seen the property.
Oh, you never seen the property?
No.
Okay. Now, both properties, was there ever a house on either of them?
I don't think so. The one in Chapter, I understand, is next to a business.
His allergies kill me. The one in Shafter is next to a business, you said?
I think so. That's what I've been told.
Okay, perfect. So one in Shafter
Yes.
is next to a business.
Are just vacant land.
Okay, perfect.
To my knowledge, have never been developed.
Okay. And do you know if there's any septic or utilities attached to the land?
I'm sorry, any what?
Any septic or utilities attached to the land?
No. I do not know that.
Got it. Okay, perfect. So since I have the APN here, I would have to look it up. Would you happen to know like a nearby street or landmark or possible address next to the land?
That I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know really anything about any of them other than they are on my list of properties, and I, pay taxes on them, and that's all I know about them.
Okay, no problem. And, if you got an offer that made sense to you, what kind of time frame would you be ready to sell? About like a week, a month, a couple months?
Yeah, I would just have to make sure I'm doing everything according to the trust. But yeah, I can sell them pretty much at any time. That's not really the the issue. My thing is I'm going to sell them. I'm thinking very seriously about selling them as a group. There's also one in California City. I'm trying to sell all of them.
Okay, so you have 3 that you might be looking to sell together?
Yeah, I think it's 3 or I think it's actually more like 4 or 5.
4 or 5. Okay, perfect. And you have just the APN for all the address or all the lots, not necessarily an address for each of them?
Yeah, they don't have, but most of them don't have addresses. They're like, in other words, I'm down to nothing now but vacant land.
Okay.
All the ones I had that had houses or properties or apartments on them, those have all been sold. These are just the last ones I have. They're vacant land. It's been on the trust for 40 plus years, probably longer than that actually. Actually longer than that. And I've never laid eyes on any of them. The other ones, yes, I knew about them. I've been around them. These are just some that I don't know anything about.
Okay, no problem. And did you have any idea as to how much you think they might be worth, or what you're looking to at least all of them together for?
No, I hadn't even. I just kind of came up with this last week.
Okay.
Because I decided to try and just get rid of them so I can close the trust down.
Gotcha.
No, I don't. I can send it to you, but I have them. They were appraised, I believe, in 08 or 09.
08 or 09. Okay.
Yeah. So my appraisals, they would need, something more current.
Gotcha. And do you know what they were appraised for back in 08 or 09?
Let me see. Yeah. Well, no. The ones you're talking about. No, I don't. I can look them up. I have them in the record somewhere.
Okay. What I'll do this. I'm gonna speak with my partner Jackie. I think they're the one that spoke with you a few weeks ago, and then I'll let them know that we still need to collect a little bit more information, because it seems like you have some land that you're looking to sell. You just don't have enough information. I'm gonna contact them just to let them know. When's a better time we can give you a call back? Maybe you can collect some information.
Wait a minute. Okay, this is what's her name? Jackie, and what's his name? I forget the guy's name.
Jackie
she was working with yeah, some real estate lady or something.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's the one they were looking at. That one I do know. That one back in 2009, I was appraised at 7,500.
She has she has a lot. Okay,
the
70.
They asked me about the one on MLK Drive in Bakersfield. That one is next. That one is just a little tiny little piece of land next to nestled in between 2 other properties.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah, so that one I do know. That one was appraised at 7,500 back in 2009.
7,500 back in 2009. Okay. And would you happen to have the address for it?
That one may have an address. Pardon?
Would you happen to have that address handy?
No, it doesn't have an actual number. Hold on. I think it just says MLK Boulevard. Hold on. Let me see. Maybe it has a number.
Okay.
Hold on.
She says the address. I'm obviously going to take her off speaker. Okay. To keep your guys' leads confidential. So she doesn't have really much information on these lots. We're going to have to dig in. Jackie, if you want to jump on a call, I'll definitely be open to that. But looks like you submitted 4 She says she has about 5 lots, no addresses, just APN number here, the parcel.
Actually, yeah, it does. It says 114.
What was it? Uh-huh. Okay. In Bakersville. All right, let me see if I could pull that up real quick. And you did mention that you're looking to sell all of them together, right? Would you be open to selling them individually as well?
It doesn't really do me any good to sell them individually. I was going to sell this one individually, just because this guy is someone who knows my relatives who own the properties on either side.
Gotcha. Okay, perfect. Yeah, for some reason it's not coming up here. You sure that's the correct address? The one in Bakersville?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right.
Well, that's what the county records or somebody whoever did this appraisal came up with. But I never go by the address because I'm just used to dealing with vacant land, so I just go by the APN.
Yeah. Let me see if I can pull this up here.
Correct. That's the correct APN.
And you don't know if it was Boulevard or Drive?
No, that's like I'm saying. I've always just referred to used it as the APN. I've never used the address.
Gotcha.
There's not a place that mail is delivered to. There's nothing right there in that. In other words, there's no active homes or anything right there. They're next to some, but they're all pretty much abandoned.
Okay.
More of it's like right close to like the industrial part of town.
Gotcha. So I would have to dig in a little bit more. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to speak with Jackie, and we're going to go over each APN that you gave us. We're going to have to do some extra research, and then we're going to, analyze the area to see what kind of numbers we'd be at. When's a better time we can give you a call back?
My schedule is kind of back and forth. I'm going to be on my way to work right at 4 o'clock. So it's just like, the best thing to do, honestly, is to send me a text. See if I'm available, and then if so, I'll call you right back.
Okay, I'll let her know then.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Have a great weekend.
Okay, you too.
Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Oh, these letters are killing me. Sorry. So she has 5 properties. She only has an address for one, which isn't coming up. Hopefully that's the correct address. Now, since these are lots, all she has is the APN number. When you're looking at land, no matter where it's at, you need to know exactly where it is. That's very important because you have to see if there's any new construction. The way that I analyze land may be different than the way you do it or you're taught to do it. But what works for me is this. I analyze the land, I copy and paste the actual address. And if she doesn't have the actual address, I would have to research a little bit more her name, the APN number on the tax records, all that stuff. Or if she knows a nearby street or landmark, or like the neighbor's address, I can put that up and then just click on her lot. But typically what I'll do first is I will look to see if there's any new construction in the area. And that way I can click on the new construction homes, click on the tax records, look at the zoning, the square footage of the lot, look at the mortgage and transaction history, the sales history, and I would see what that builder bought it for. Okay. If there's not enough data for that, another thing you can do is just look at residential land, make sure you're looking at similar zoning, similar square footage, and that's going to tell you more or less what kind of offerings you would be at. Seems like she has a package, but she doesn't seem to be too knowledgeable about what she has. So, Jackie, if you want to analyze that, you want to jump on the call, I'd definitely be open to it. Just shoot me a DM. Otherwise, anytime I try to follow back up with people, I try to get a time or time frame. Some people like her, her schedule, she said, is all over the place. She said she prefers a text first, and then she can usually respond very quickly. Okay, so you always want to keep note of that. Anytime you're following up with people, don't just say, hey, can I call you tomorrow or whatever. Try to get a time. What's a good time I could check back in with you? If they don't give you a time, get a time frame. If they have a crazy schedule, then they'll let you know the best way that you can contact them, which this lady is text messages. Okay, so Jackie, you can shoot me DM we can analyze that together. But we need more information about those lots. These aren't things you can make an offer in 7 minutes when there's little to no information. Okay. All right. So we'll get back to that one. Let's go over to Miami, Florida. Miami, Florida. So let's pull this up here. Give me 1 second. Miami, Florida. Okay. Let that ring. So they're asking 550,000. Minor updates, fair condition. Let's take a look at it.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic.
Let's call them one more time. Looks like they're not picking up.
Your call.
One thing I'll tell you, in these higher price markets like Miami or like the West Coast, the cost of living is obviously higher. Don't get scared. You know, I see a lot of people make a mistake of like the sellers already asking a high price. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is, some people, remember, they don't know any better besides to look at the Zillow or the Zestimate and ask the Zestimate or a little bit above. So we don't know what their real reason is why they want to sell. So like their first initial price isn't something that you should, you know, pre-assume that they're like a bad lead, right? Because we don't know what their motivation might be. I've talked to some people and they dropped a lot. Some people stay at a number. Some people want a high number. But just because they want a high price doesn't mean they're not going to be willing to drop. Okay, so this one, minor updates, fair condition, mentioned that the house sold for $594 across the street. Tenant is trying to get him a loan, relocate, open to offer because I called the tenant trying to buy the house with a loan. That's fine. Okay, so they didn't pick up the phone. Let's move on to the next one. We're going on to Dallas. All right, Dallas, Texas. Great market. So let's call this one here. All right. Let's put on speaker. So this one, they're asking $153,000.
Hello.
Hello, Miss Mitchell.
Yes.
Hi, my name is Steven. I think you spoke with my partner a while back in regards to a property you might be looking to sell on Bertrand Avenue. Were you still looking to sell?
I'm not looking to sell. Yeah, I'm going to sell. Yeah.
Oh, you're going to sell. Okay. Did I catch it a good time?
That's fine. Go right ahead. Go right ahead.
Perfect. So the reason for my call is I actually want to give you an offer on the property. I know that
Yes.
you mentioned you're planning on selling it, but my process is real simple. I won't take up too much of your time. I just want to ask you a few more questions about it. That way I can go and evaluate it right here in the computer, see what I can offer you. It takes about 7 minutes. Is that okay?
Yeah, go right ahead.
Okay, perfect. And before I get started, I like to let everybody know up front, you know, we are a real estate investment company, so we don't buy every property we look at. But if we're not a good fit, I'll let you know up front, and we do have agents just in case, okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right, perfect.
You
So,
already know what the offers already are. Do you already know that?
well, that's why I want to ask you a few more questions so I can give you the best offer I can.
No, I mean, do you know what I've already been offered, and that way you don't have to offer and that won't work,
Mhm. Yeah, I see here you're asking $153,000, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, perfect. And I see here it's in excellent condition. Property built in 2004. Kitchen. Can you tell me a little bit more specifically about the interior condition of the house?
Well, it's fine. This new carpeted,
Mm-hmm.
and it's the carpet ain't new now because the carpet's been down there ever since it's been built. But you got that record, and I was there, and it's still nobody in there, walking, messing around on it. It's been kept clean and that sort of thing. But to make a long story short, it has 3 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, kitchen, and living room.
Okay. And the bathrooms and kitchen, have they been updated recently, or they just in fair shape?
Oh, well, nobody lived in the house that long.
She's asking above full market value.
Nobody lived in it.
Doesn't sound too motivated, but sounds serious. I'm looking at the comps. Airview's around 140. Okay. Perfect. And if you got an offer that made sense to you, what kind of time frame were you looking to sell? About in like a week, a month, a couple months?
Well, I'm trying to get down there to see exactly. I'm not rushing myself,
Right. Right.
I have offers pending.
Mm-hmm.
And, I have gone all the way with it, this one, that, and this one, that. I said I'll deal with it when I get there. Some people want to do it while I'm here. I don't want to do that. Because one thing, the town companies here don't want to deal with anything there, so you need to be there to do it.
Right.
Although I have had, people who sell from here, get a real estate person or attorney or something, to do it. But you still got to pay either way you go in that area. But anyway, to make a long story short, is that, people have sent me papers. All I need to do is sign it and get it started. And they want to do this and that and the other, but I don't want to do that.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like you're in a rush either, so you can take your time. And that's a good thing about us.
Yeah.
We like to move at whoever wants to sell's pace. It doesn't really matter. Did you have any idea as to when you think you might be in the area down here?
Well, I'm supposed to be there. I had a niece graduate yesterday, and I'm so sorry I didn't get a chance to make it.
Mm-hmm.
But I had, and then I was waiting on something that I did get the call about this morning. So I've gotten good news this morning. My sister-in-law has been in the hospital for a while, and she had to go to rehabilitation and all that. But that's not your business. But anyway, they're letting her out today.
That's
and
good.
Bringing her home. So I was waiting on all of that to take, see what's going to be with her. And so now all I need to do is wait to see if this is going to. Transaction is going to go through today, because sometimes people change, or you don't know, if, what they're going to do.
Right.
But I was told that she was going home this morning by a doctor, so I can take that to the bank if the doctor tell me that. I'm a retired nurse myself, so.
Oh, nice.
John, so he's going to. He said he's going to send her home, so I'm glad of that. I know that she'll do better too at home.
Okay.
So I know that I'm coming, but I want to wait till maybe a couple of weeks. It has to be after 22nd, because I have a pending appointment too, to see if my doctor's gonna let me fly, or I'm going to. My daughter-in-law is ready to drive me now, but. He loves to drive. and this is a good time to drive because there's no ice or anything.
Yeah.
And so I don't want to wait and be and I don't want to get on a plane with the pandemic still going and not going, they're saying one thing, but I always think another.
That's right. You live in Oregon, right? I see here in the notes.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
You
Okay.
can't be too careful.
Yeah.
So,
No, absolutely.
So it would be after the 22nd that they answer your question.
Okay.
It would be after my apartment. I got one on the 15th and the 22nd.
Okay. And I was just gonna say that I think $153,000 is actually a really good solid price on the open market. A lot of investors that are gonna call you like myself are gonna try to give you a cash offer that's probably much lower than that, because that's what we do. That's what our business is in order to,
I know.
but have you ever considered listing it, on the open market when you're ready to sell?
No. Well, I've had a lot of people want me to do that.
Yeah.
I had, they.
So she's a little bit older. She's not in a rush. She's not in a rush to calm down here, the pandemic and everything. So this is somebody that she sounds serious to sell, but she doesn't sound like in a rush. So you just want to step off a little bit, let her talk, and then just try to, follow back up with her. And people respect that when you're not trying to like shove an offer down their throat and it's not going to make sense. Building rapport and making that connection and trust is so important. So follow up. I would follow up with this lead. She's telling me some personal things, but you want to hear them out. So she's asking 153. The ARVs probably a little bit less than that in this area. So I anytime somebody is not motivated and they want a price that doesn't make sense, I try to shift to the listing option. And if they don't like that, that's okay. You just want to follow back up with them. Or you can dig in a little bit more, creative financing and all that stuff, but we're not going to get into that right now. But always have multiple exit strategies. Okay.
I guess they act like you just got here in this world and you don't know what's happening.
Yeah. Okay, well, no problem. And some people like to talk and talk and talk, so you have to politely interrupt them, get a better time, check back in, and move on to the next lead. And I'm sure you guys talk to some sellers that just talk and talk and talk, but you don't want to be stuck on that. I can't really hear that well. My phone's turned all the way up.
You at least clear 160. I said, yeah, I know that. But
okay.
With everything going the way that it is. But I said, I would see when I get there, He said, because this guy was pretty honest about it. He said, because they're building really fast in that area. That's why you having so many buyers, And I said, buyers market right now is fine, but because the wood is high and everything else, but I don't have wood. This is a brick home, so.
Yeah, I see it here. It's nice. But I got to take this other call. I really appreciate your time. What's a better time we check back in with you?
Well, I got a lot going on here too, so. It's, I'm getting my backyard and all that cleaned up. And so I guess any time that you call will be probably about like now.
Okay. All right. I'll let my partner know and we'll check back in with you in a few days. Okay.
All right.
Thank you. Have a good weekend.
You too. Bye-bye.
Very nice. Obviously she's not motivated. Some people try to make a deal out of somebody that's not motivated, and you're just really wasting your time. So, again, if she's stuck on a price, she's not in a rush to move down here. Seems like she wants to come over here. She doesn't want to do everything over the phone. And some elderly people, that's why we have boots on the ground. Even though my business is virtual, we have boots on the ground. You want to make sure that you develop good relationships with local real estate agents that are investor friendly, because let's say she lived in Tampa and she didn't want to do anything over the phone, or maybe she's not very tech savvy. We want to make sure that we tailor her needs. We'll send an agent out there on an investment appointment. They'll walk the property, build rapport, find out a little bit more about her and what her needs are. And maybe they'll get a contract, maybe require some follow-up, but everything's face-to-face. You're not going to close every single deal over the phone. Sometimes you'll get sellers that they just want to do everything face-to-face, but you want to make sure that you have somebody going out there to do that, especially if you're virtual, right? Because I do deals also in Washington, and obviously I can't fly to Washington to meet with the seller, but we have agents, whether it's my own backyard here in Tampa or across the country. Okay, so make sure that when you speak with sellers like that, that you actually talk bad about the cash offer. It might sound crazy, but if a cash offer doesn't make sense, I actually talk bad about it. I say, man, that I don't want to waste your time. I think you're asking a great price on the open market. Is that something you might be open to? Okay, let's take a quick question here. Let's see. Hey, Steven, I'm in negotiation with a seller. He's higher than my MAO. How do I get him down? Great question, Jade. So most sellers are going to want a lot more than your maximum allowable offer, and that's completely normal. That's just the way it is. Some people aren't super motivated, and they want top dollar. Now, here's the thing. Somebody that's motivated and gives top dollar, the best way to bring them down is to justify why your number's at where you are. What I mean by that is I don't give offers, I give offer ranges. So anytime we talk about price, which could be uncomfortable for a seller, what I like to do is anchor pricing. All right, so let's say the ARV after Pear Valley is $300,000, my max offer is $150,000. Let's say the homeowner wants, I don't know, $200,000. Okay, I'll look at comps in the area, and when you're talking to sellers, you don't want to say comps, you don't want to say cash comps, you don't want to say ARV comps. They're not going to be able to relate to that. That's industry terms, right? So instead of cash comps, say, hey, I'm looking at similar properties and as is condition. Instead of ARV comps, I'm looking at fully updated properties or renovated properties, whatever you want to say. But you have to talk to them in language you can understand. Anyways, what I do is I look for the lowest one, all right? An anchor price. And an anchor price is not your offer, okay? Anytime you anchor price and you give an address, it's actually a lot more powerful. So it sounds something like this. Let's say Bob wants $200,000. My max offer is $150,000. Hey, Bob, are you familiar with Main Street? Yes, what about it? Well, this property here on 123 Main Street sold for $75,000. Bob throws a tantrum. He might get upset. He might hang up. You call him back. Man, you're crazy. I'll never sell for that. Well, Bob, I'm not saying that's what I would pay you. I'm just giving you facts of the neighborhood. Does that make sense, Bob? So what I'm saying, guys, is the purpose of anchor pricing is to get a reaction out of people, because remember, a lot of people are not going to want to spit out a number. They don't want to show their cards. And I always say this all the time. Sellers always know the least they're willing to take, but they may not know what their house is worth. Otherwise, everybody would locking up deals at $100, okay? So that's why I always ask the question of, did you have any idea what the property might be worth or what you were looking to at least sell for? That way it separates their opinion of value with their actual number. But remember, a lot of people may not want to give a number, and that's okay. That's why it's up to you to anchor price, see what their reaction is. Some people will spit out a number, right? Oh, man, you're crazy. I need at least 140. You know what I'm saying? Or some people may not like it. Now you know they don't like it, so you go a little bit higher. The point is, don't ever start negotiating at the price that's your MAO, because the deal only gets smaller and the offer only seems less attractive. Anytime you start off at an anchor price, a very low price, and work your way up, the offer is automatically a lot more attractive than when you started. It's psychology, okay? So you start low, work your way up, it seems a lot better, all right? If they don't give a number, you give a range. Remember, give ranges. They're a lot more powerful. If a homeowner wants a number, you say, hey, we'd have to be anywhere between 75 to 140 to 145 in order for this to make sense to us. That way I let the seller know where my range is, okay? But they don't know what my number is. And my top number of the range is always, again, $5,000 to $10,000 underneath my max, because if you ever give a range, hey, I'd have to be between 75 to 140, 145. No seller that I know is going to say, oh, the 75 sounds great, I'll take that today. You know what I'm saying? So if they want 140, 145, or maybe even 150, you've created a safety net where you're trying to make some profit. We try to make a minimum of $10,000. If we make $5,000, we'll take it. But we try to stay profitable by giving ranges. Okay. Okay, so anchor pricing, get a reaction, give a little bit higher number, and give a range. If they like the range, it's a deal. If they don't like the range, it's not a deal. If they're within 20% of your MAO, schedule an in-person appointment. It's super important, guys. Okay, if a seller's asking within 20% of your maximum allowable offer, your top dollar, it's worth setting an appointment, whether it's you or an agent, to go meet them face to face, negotiate them, build rapport. Okay, sometimes they will drop, but face to face is always a lot more powerful. If they're not within 20%, offer the listing, talk bad about the cash offer, or follow back up with them. All right, don't ever try to squeeze a deal out of something that's not a deal. All right. All right. Great question. Thanks for that. So let's move on to the next lead. We are going to Miami, Florida, then Las Vegas, then Atlanta, then Miami. We got a lot in Miami, a lot. Yeah, we actually have a lot in Miami. We have a few in Las Vegas. We have some in Georgia. All right. So let's call this seller. One second. Oh, I think you may have an extra number here. Hold on. Make sure I'm doing it right. All right. So this seller is asking $1.5 million. Needs some work. Won't go down on price, even though it's not the facts of the neighborhood. Only one until kitchen was updated. Roof is 12 years old. Cash flow is very good. Wouldn't tell me how much he's making. Very interesting guy. Open to an offer. All right, cool.
Please leave your message for.
Let's call one more time. Let's call one more time. Looks like it's not ringing. There we go. And don't ever run comps before you call because they may not pick up. I always like to copy and paste address while it's ringing. It looks like he didn't pick up. I can tell you that he's asking 1.5 million. This area, ARV is no more than $400,000. So you'll get some people that are very sarcastic. You'll get some people that might be really serious, and they're asking a ridiculous price. But sometimes you got to be very upfront with people and say, hey, I know you're asking 1.5 million, sir, but there's nothing selling north of a 400,000 in this area. Are you actually interested in selling? Because if you're not, I'll just take you off the list. Okay? I'll just take you off the list. So anyways, they didn't pick up. Make sure you call them back. I don't know how serious he'd be to drop, but make sure you call him back. Question. Is it advised to focus on one market if you're doing this business alone and mainly using cold call and text? No. I mean, if you're starting out, I would recommend starting in your own backyard. Make sure you analyze your backyard first to make sure that it's a good market. But, you want to start little by little. Start off in an area you're pretty knowledgeable with, okay? It doesn't matter what marketing method you use, whether it's direct mail, RVM, SMS, cold calling, whatever it is. I would advise starting in your backyard, but don't limit yourself to one market, especially if it's virtual. Okay? Especially if it's virtual. But do start off in an area that you're pretty knowledgeable with, okay? All right, so this person pick up. Let's call the next one. Give me 1 second. This person's asking $1 million. Let's take a look at the property while it's ringing and see if they are realistic or not. I don't know, say their last name. Probably one of the most.
Hello?
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 Oh, Mr. Florimon? Is this Mr. Florimon? Hello?
Hello? Yeah.
Hey, is this Mr. Florimon?
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Steven. I think you spoke with my partner a while back in regards to your property on 100th Street. Did I catch a good time?
What you doing?
Were you still interested in selling that property?
Give me $1 million. I'll give it to you.
$1 million?
Yes.
Okay, so you're not really looking to sell, huh?
Uh-huh. Listen.
The RV is 300,000. He wants $1 million. He's not serious. He said, "Give me $1 million."
If you need money, give me $1 million. We'll make a deal.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you for your time. Have a good day.
You too.
Bye. So obviously he's not serious. It's not worth continuing the conversation. He said, "Give me $1 million." The ARV is 300,000, so $1 million is definitely not going to make sense. Get a lot of sarcastic people in this area. I don't know why. That's the second person. All right. So obviously, and this is another big thing. If you guys have cold callers, especially if they're overseas, you will get a lot of people, right? The culture in America, you get a lot of sarcasm, and sometimes if your VA is in the overseas, they may think they're a serious person. So make sure that you let them know if somebody's asking, let's say the Zestimate's not always 100% accurate, but let's say the Zestimate's 300,000. If somebody's asking $1 million, chances are they're probably not that serious of a seller. So you want to make sure you train your team to not continue the conversation. Okay? You just heard me say, it sounds like you're not really interested in selling. Well, if you give me $1 million, blah, blah, blah. So anyways, don't continue conversations with those kinds of people because it's just really a waste of time, okay? All right, cool. Second another question. Hey, Steven, looking at the cash transactions in prop stream, assignment fees aren't recorded, so those sales price are the contract price. How does that affect our final offer? So assignment fees, because remember, guys, when you're signing the contract, it's the cash buyer closing. It's not actual use, so it's never going to show the assignment fees. That's what flips are. So if you're looking at cash transactions, right, and it shows an LC, that's what they paid for cash. So, for example, if you're looking at PropStream, your house is a 1,200 square feet. You're looking at other similar properties in similar shape, and you see all cash buyers buying for, I don't know, 160. That means my max offer is going to be 150 at least to make a minimum of $10,000. Okay. So again, you want to focus on what the end buyer's buying at. Make sure you have a similar piece of real estate. You want to stay at least for us. I mean, $10,000 is what we try to make a minimum on every deal. That way you have some wiggle room, right? And those things I talked about earlier, good question. Those things I talked about earlier, when it comes to the price range, right now, our average deal size is over $30,000, right? We just closed on one a few days ago. I posted on my Instagram story, $65,000. That's because you or your team have to be really sharp with acquisitions, okay? There's no such thing as a secret marketing list that's going to produce tons of deals. You want to mix it up. You want to be diverse. You're not going to be the only person calling that list. You're going to have other investors calling that list. So the real secret of locking up really big deals is who is the other person that's talking to the seller, right? Who's on the other side of the phone that's talking to the seller? How do they approach them? How do they negotiate? I'm actually thinking of having a virtual workshop next month on exactly how my business is structured, how we're able to, May was amazing. The month of May, we signed over $250,000. We have $332,000 projected profit. So that's over, that's a few six figures monthly, but that takes a lot of moving pieces in the business, right? And it's not like they all close at once, right? I'm happy we assign $233,000, but I'd rather have less leads, bigger deals, right? Anyways, I'll probably have that virtual workshop next month I'll have to come up with a date. Just stay tuned on my Instagram. I'll probably post something about it. I got to talk to the team about it, get that set up. But definitely something I'm considering because a lot of people don't think that this business can be done virtually. It can. It definitely can. I got forced to do this virtually after the pandemic, and it actually thrived. I created the business right in the middle of the pandemic. Even though I used to work with other companies for a few years before the pandemic, it was in office, in a business, everything was in person. But after the pandemic, a lot of people shut down. A lot of people stopped. I kept going. Some people are thriving right now virtually, but structuring this virtually can be tricky. People get too comfortable at home. You know what I'm saying? People don't get disciplined. Holding your team accountable. What kind of tools, resources, what kind of meetings, what kind of KPIs do you go over to make a successful real estate investment virtual business? It's all possible. So I'll talk more about that next month. All right. So anyways, let's move on to the next one. Let's call this person and see. Hopefully it's a realistic person, not asking $1 million something when their house is worth $300,000. Surprised we haven't had anybody rude today yet. This might be the nicest episode on Deal Desk I've had yet. Usually I always get that one person, you know what I'm saying? That one person. Not last week. A couple weeks ago, this guy pretended to be Domino's. Make sure you guys watch the replay and see how I responded to him. He said, "This is Domino's." All right, so let's call this person. Uh-oh. Let me make sure I put the phone number right. 305. Okay. Yeah, I put the phone number right. Looks like their phone is disconnected or something. Let me try to call one more time. Oh, look, it's ringing now. All right, so asking price, not sure. Let's see. They know how much they want. They just don't want to tell us. Mentioned selling, but she insisted that I spoke Spanish to go any further. Oh, perfect. Dang. Well, it was ringing now. What made that noise? If you guys ever have any Spanish leads in the Florida area, contact me. Me and my team will contact them for you, and then we can JV on them, okay? Especially in Miami, you know what I'm saying? Spanish-speaking leads can be capitalized on. If you don't speak Spanish, I highly suggest you try to learn some basics. There's an app called Duolingo where you can learn for free or take classes or something. But, there's a lot of Spanish speakers and a lot of diversity depending where you live. And if you can speak their language, it's only going to give you an edge, okay? So let's call the next one. And then I'll take another question. I'm going to call for you and take questions. All right, so this person didn't say, okay, perfect. A lot of sellers, they don't know what their price is. That really means I don't know what my house is worth, but I know the least I'm going to take, but I don't want to show you my numbers. That's really what they're saying. And you have to learn how to, break through that wall and get a reaction or a range out of them. All right, so let's call this person here. All right, asking price, didn't say. Repairs, didn't say. Property condition, not sure. Oh, another Spanish one.
Por favor, deje su mensaje para...
Let's call one more time. Interesting. I never met a Spanish person named Waldo. He's not picking up the phone. Where's Waldo? The next one, we'll call the next one. Then I'll take this question. But
Por favor,
no answer. All right, let's answer a question. A question for Bernard. Hey, Steve, how do you handle sellers who initially ask for retail? Well, you're going to talk to a lot of people that ask a high price to ask for retail. But if they do, what's up with this camera? Hold on a second. If the seller asks for retail, initially, you don't want to let that get to you. But the thing is, that's why I go back to anchor pricing, because a lot of people start really high. Like, I mean, the $1 million is overly high, and I don't want to waste my time with that. But if the ARV is around 300 and they want 305, I still continue the conversation, because you will get some people that ask retail up front and are very, serious about selling. The thing is, are they willing to drop? Are they willing to, go a little bit lower, or is the house in really good shape and they're asking a reasonable price? So if they're asking a reasonable price, but they don't want to drop for whatever reason, maybe the mortgage is a lot higher than your offer, or whatever it is, or they're just stuck at that number, I don't even try to really push a cash offer on them. Because some people are just at that number. All these leads that come in, if you skip trace a bunch of leads, you talk to a lot of people, they're not all going to be super motivated people that want to sell at a discount. It's really a numbers game. But for people that initially want retail, I still go through the script, okay? My approach is the same with everybody. I still negotiate. I've had some people drop, 300,000 to 200,000. Like, it just depends where they're at, because when you negotiate and you ask qualifying questions, why do you want to sell? When do you want to sell? How much do you want to sell for? Did you have any idea as to what you think it might be worth, what you're looking to at least sell for? If we cover the closing costs, fees, commissions, and close on a time frame that made sense to you, what would be the best price you can do? Asking these kinds of questions, understanding the person a little bit more, will make them drop. But if they are stuck at that number, you have to switch from cash offer and either to creative financing or listing. Okay. And if they're not even open to that, I just follow up. But retail, people asking retail, you're going to get lots of those. That's going to be a majority of your leads. The thing is, what are you going to do with those leads, right? When you guys pay for marketing, whatever marketing method you're using, and you get leads coming in, a lot of leads really want to sell, but they're just not going to be a good for a cash offer. So you guys have to figure out a creative way to capitalize on these leads that you paid for and see how you can, make it work. It doesn't always have to be cash offer. So just make sure that you give more than just a cash offer. Okay. But if they're asking retail, go through the script anyway. It's extremely important, by the way. Okay. It's extremely important if somebody's asking retail, okay, you need to figure out if they're serious. That before anything, you have to figure out if somebody's serious. You're going to talk to a lot of people that say, well, I'm not really looking to sell, Steven. I just want to see what the offer is like. What do you think my house is worth? Well, hey, that's a great question. Unfortunately, we're not in the business of, just telling what your house is worth. We're in the business of buying properties. But if you're not looking to sell, Bob, I can completely understand. Just keep my number. And when you already saw, give me a call back. I'll be more than happy to help. Okay, have a great day. That's how you handle that. You don't want to continue with those people, because by the time you get to the end of the script with those people, what I hate the most is like, okay, thanks. I'll think about it. I'll call you. They're not serious. But you will get people that say, hey, I wasn't really looking to sell unless it's the right price. We don't know what their right price is. So for those people, we still continue down the conversation, okay? Dang, it's already 12:57. So I will answer a few more questions. We'll wrap up here. Okay. We got a lot of questions. All right, let me see. Who have not answered? Best way to contact me for Spanish speaker, shoot me a DM on Instagram, official Steven Morales. Okay. Okay, what do you do when a seller says she wants to sell but you can't keep her on the phone to actually derive your offer. This is a great question. So if somebody's ever on the phone, okay, and they do want to sell, one of the first things you'll always, see me doing the deal desk is, hey, did I catch you at a good time? Oh yeah, you did. So now I know I caught her at a good time, but does she have enough time to talk to me? Because some people, when I call them, they might be grocery shopping, watching the kids, walking the dog. They're not. I need their attention and focus to be on me within the next, for the next 7-10 minutes, really. So I always say, did I catch it at a good time? They say yes. Great. This is how I work. By the way, it takes about 7 minutes. Is that okay? When they say yes, I continue the conversation. If somebody does not say yes, if they say no, I don't have 7 minutes, I'm in the middle of something. Okay, no problem. I don't want to rush it. What's a better time I could check back in with you today or call you back today? Make sure you pre-assume, right? It's today. Make sure that you tell them that. If they're not available the rest of the day for whatever reason, ask them for the next day, but always assume it's the same day. No problem. I don't want to rush the process. What's the best time I could give you a call back today? Okay. Don't ever try to continue the conversation or script if you don't ask the question of, did I catch you at a good time? And you have about 7 to 10 minutes on the phone. Because if they don't, then you're both wasting your time. And at that point, if you guys don't ask that question or your team doesn't ask that question, let me tell you, you're going to get a lot of people that try to rush the conversation, brush you off the phone. That's just how it is. Some people don't have time to talk. They may be in the middle of something, but you always want to ask them for permission to keep talking to them. Otherwise, you're spinning your wheels, okay? So that's how I do that. How do I send my leads? Go to the reitoolbox.com, okay? This link is also in my bio. You can go to the www.reitoolbox.com, okay? And let me actually show you what that looks like. I'm more of a visual person. So let me actually share my screen. So the reitoolbox.com, and then you're going to go here, okay? Let me make the screen bigger, okay? See where it says submit your leads for me to call on the deal desk? You click this. It takes you to this page right here, okay? There's a category. Oh, this opened a new thing. Hold on a second. Open a new tab. So you guys on YouTube can't see it. So let me stop sharing that screen, and I'll share the new tab so you can see what I'm talking about. Right here. So it's going to open this up. All right. I don't know if you can see that let me zoom in a little bit more. There we go. All right. So deal submission form. It's going to tell you warm to hot leads, provide no creative offers or financing due to time. Must have equity, submit warm to hot. Don't submit any listed properties on the MLS, anybody you've never spoken to. Make sure you've warmed them up a little bit, because that's actually going to increase the chance of me closing the deal rather than me starting. Not that I'm against it and that I can't, but if you guys want me to seal the deal, make sure you've spoken. It makes everything a lot easier, okay? Okay, so again, next month, I get a lot of questions about this virtual workshop. It's just an idea that I came up with this month, but I've been really blowing up on the virtual model. Last month, we did $332,000 of projected profit. Projected profit to me is great, but a sign is what matters most, because that's what's going to close, right? There's always title issues, stuff beyond our control, so I don't always hype up about the projected profit. I like to show that opportunity because we're doing something right, but assigned is what really, really matters, right? And we signed so far $233,000 of that 332, and we got 3 deals yesterday. We got a few today. We're cranking right now. So, and all this stuff is virtual. And I really want to open it up and really talk about how important acquisitions is and what that process looks like. Because guys, remember, my business is only 2 virtual acquisitions agents, an account executive, and operations and dispo. I don't have a bunch of overhead. Okay, I have a pretty healthy, margin. So to do this virtually, and talk more about how acquisition is able to lock up those big spreads, I'll be more than open to discuss that, because I want to see a lot of people thrive on this virtual model, or else you're missing out, especially with all the stuff that's going on in the market the way it is right now. Okay, so anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed today. I do like these Q&As. I think you guys not only see how I make live calls, but I love to give as much knowledge back to you as possible. Thank you so much for joining it. Guys, one of the biggest things I have to ask you for a favor, I never ask for favors. If you're watching this right here on YouTube, there's a few people on here. Subscribe to the YouTube, okay? YouTube.com/C Steven Morales MC, Master Closer, okay? So subscribe to the YouTube channel. I'm going to be adding a lot more content every Friday at 12 EST. We do the Deal Desk live, okay? Implement everything you learn. Implement everything you learn here, all right? It's not enough just to see this or show your team this. Take these things. I promise you're going to get results. Take these things into consideration that I talk about. Implement with your team. You will see results, okay? But anyways, I'm out on YouTube, okay? Clubhouse. Thanks for stopping in, guys. I will see you next time. Have a great weekend, guys. Take care.